Hey my friends, welcome back to AttractPassion. Today we'll be talking about 10 signs you have a rare spiritual gift and may not even know it. This is a very special video because we'll be talking about what are those gifts, how to enhance them, and what are the things that are suppressing them, that are kinda blocking them, and how to unblock them, how to unstuck this very incredible potential you hold within. According to the work of Dolores Cannon, in many of her books, during hypnotherapy sessions, she wrote about people that have recalled experiences or visions of being presented with or choosing a unique symbol before incarnating into their current life. This symbol, they say, serves as a soul print of person's life's purpose, lessons, and journey. The symbol may hold deep meaning, representing aspects of their soul's mission or key elements of their spiritual growth. And often they have described it as something similar to what we know as sacred geometry symbols. And the symbols are actually a certain frequency pattern. And as we start awakening up our senses, many of you are waking up right now, and many of you are becoming more and more and more aware of these senses, and they are becoming more intense within you. You're starting to sense their frequency. And when you start to sense it, you need to know what is enhancing it and what is not serving you, so you can navigate yourself into a direction that feels the most harmonious to you, the most meaningful to you, the most, let's say, loving to you, fulfilling to you. And that's why intuition is so important on that path, especially right now, because it just feels like whatever really doesn't spark a sense of harmony within us should be left behind, should be let go of, should be healed, and should be forgiven, or just, left behind, like shaking off these old weights from the past and really embodying this sense of here and now, being completely present with what you feel, with what you sense, and then acting according to how you feel. That's why these senses are awakening in many of us right now to navigate ourselves into the most optimal line, into the most optimal reality we are creating for ourselves and for the collective. So the first sense is what I've mentioned. It is heightened intuition. You possess a stronger inner knowing, or some would say gut feeling, that guides you or your decisions and actions. Like sometimes before a significant event, you may have a strong sense of whether it will turn out positively or negatively, leading you to make decisions aligned with that intuition. And it's very important, especially when we're making maybe deals with others or building relationships. We already feel. And it doesn't mean you have just one gift. You have many different gifts, but some will be more intense, some will be less intense. Depends of what your mission is and where you feel the most naturally drawn to. So you will also start to feel, if not already, really drawn and magnetized towards a certain direction that will feel as the most purposeful for the gifts that are awakening within you. What is suppressing intuition is constant self-doubt and fear. That's what is blocking intuitive abilities and often also spiritual growth. So I just want to remind you, if you acknowledge your fears, if you acknowledge the source of your fear, it will help you to heal that old pattern and eventually let go of it, so you can surrender more to the flow that's navigating you through life. Acknowledging of the fear, of the anger, of anything that may be the root of worrying is very important when it comes to enhancing, expanding our intuitive abilities. So make sure that you are investigating yourself. Introspection is a great tool here. The second gift is that you may sense empathic abilities. You easily pick up on and absorb the emotions and energies of people around you. Do you feel that? For example, when in a crowded room, you may suddenly feel overwhelmed with emotions that aren't your own, only to discover later that someone nearby was experiencing those feelings. And usually you can actually recognize that these are not your feelings when you get out of that room. But if you really know yourself, if you really know your energy, like what is your natural energy when you're in quietness, when you're in deep meditation, what is your natural energy? You will start to read yourself, and it will be much easier then to recognize, okay, am I sensing right now someone else, and how to protect yourself. Through meditation, you will also learn how to protect yourself, how to set boundaries, also energetic boundaries. And it will help you then to detach from the energies that are not yours. It's an important practice. And when it comes to practice, it comes to what really resonates with you. So also take from this video only what resonates with you. Some people like to imagine like light shield around their bodies. And some people like to imagine as they would wear a cloth out of light. And stronger the light, brighter the light, stronger will be the frequency of it. If this resonates with you, if you're more like a visual type of person, this may work for you. For some people, it's just setting boundaries and saying no and being more, we may say physical here, and set a physical boundary, like express yourself. Well, this is not for me, thank you, goodbye. I would prefer to embody both of these two different methods, but you need to recognize what's your situation and what works for you the most. Then what is suppressing empathic abilities is being in a toxic or negative environment for too much time, for too long. So what may help you is to surround yourself with harmony more often, especially when you need a recharge, when you need to recharge your batteries. Spend time in nature and engage in activities that uplift your spirit. That will help you to get to know yourself better, to get to know how uniquely your energy works, because you may find that it's quite a complex and very interesting system. We're becoming just more and more aware of it, so play with that. But notice when a certain environment is really lowering down your energy, consider to not spend so much time there, and eventually adapt your lifestyle to new standards you're building up for yourself as you're building your self-knowledge, self-awareness, and expanding your consciousness, so you can also set greater boundaries for yourself, because now you know what is yours, how you want to live your life, and how you don't want to live your life. The third gift that you may find yourself experiencing is prophetic dreams. Your dreams are vivid, symbolic, and may offer glimpses into future events or provide valuable insights. Sometimes you may dream, or you may have a dream of a specific scenario, and later you find yourself in a similar situation with the dream's details unfolding in reality. And if that's happening to you, it's a sign that through your dreams, your higher self is speaking to you, giving you these valuable insights, what to prepare yourself, what may happen if you don't change anything. Because, timelines are often tricky as we are changing, getting exposed to new information, new knowledge. Our timeline is changing, our choices will be changing, and therefore, every time we change something in our mind, our timeline will change a little bit. It's like ascending and constantly seeing our environment from a different height, which means we can see more roads, more paths, we may see more patterns where it will take us. So therefore, when you have this kind of dreams, you may experience insights into your future so you can prepare yourself. What is suppressing this gift is something really important, often poor diet, lack of exercise, and maybe some certain substances like alcohol or drugs. This is what is suppressing this kind of a psychic ability, because there's a lot of toxicity in poor diet or certain substances, and because of lack of exercise, your body is not purifying itself from this toxicity, and therefore this toxicity has very disturbed low frequencies in it, and that may mess up with your mind. So you may have more negative dreams, more nightmares and things like that. So be aware that you are purifying your body if many of these things are happening to you. If you adapt a healthy lifestyle with more nutritious food, start exercising, start moving yourself. Your body requires a lot of movement, and detoxify your body and mind. It will help you so much. Also, detoxify yourself from too much of information. Whatever information, go on a diet with a diet of information, right? Let go of it a little bit more. The fourth one is telepathic connection. You have the ability to pick up on the thoughts or emotions of others without direct communication. Without any verbal cues, you may accurately sense what someone is thinking or feeling, almost as if you're tuning into their mental frequency. Are you experiencing that? Well, that's what in the future we'll become quite good at. We'll be able to communicate without exchanging words. What is suppressing this gift is living too much on autopilot, in unconscious habits, without here-now awareness, without being present. It may disconnect you from your essence, and therefore your telepathy may close down out of protection or become delusional, and may kinda give you a sense of you're losing touch of reality. And it's quite dangerous sometimes. So your telepathic connection requires from you to live very mindfully, very consciously, to really honor your gift, because it may serve you a lot when it comes to healing, when it comes to understanding of yourself and others, and basically understanding of the world around you. And because so many people are in pain, because of this ability, you may sense a lot of pain that's present around you. And therefore, through that pain, you can in tune with a potential solution that can be presented here through you. So it's important to nurture these abilities. That's why I sometimes feel a need to make videos like that, just to talk a little bit about it, because many people think it's a curse, it's something bad or something negative. But actually, well, if it would not be needed, we would not have these senses. But we have them, and they're waking up within us, because we've come here at this unique time to raise the frequency and to wake up to this essence of who we truly are, so we can stop pretending that we are powerless. So wake up, my friend. The fifth gift is healing energy. Your presence has a calmness and healing effect on others, and you may possess the ability to uplift and comfort. So people will sense that. Friends, maybe family, often turn to you for support during difficult times, feeling a sense of peace and reassurance in your presence. How often you feel that? If you're wondering what to do with that, well, you're a great healer. And usually people with a strong healing energy will naturally feel drawn into Reiki healing, or they will feel drawn into becoming a yoga instructor, or a hypnotherapist, or meditation guide, or something like that, because they sense it's flowing through them. We all have it. But as in ancient times, there were healers, there were prophets, there were teachers, storytellers, then there were people who were working with plants. So each of us is gifted in our own unique way. And those with healing energy, they are felt from the distance. So if that's you, nurture it, appreciate it, honor it. What's suppressing your healing energy is unresolved emotional baggage, like past traumas, and unresolved emotions can create energetic blocks or drive negative projections onto others as responses to your own triggers. So you need to be aware of any unresolved emotional baggage and go through the process of healing. Identify the root of fear, as I mentioned before, the root of fear, the root of anger. And if it feels something really hard or really impossible to do, seek professional help here, because a therapist or someone who's very acknowledged around how to identify a certain emotional pattern can easily guide you into this part, so you can notice it, you can recognize when it occurred, and therefore through understanding you will be able to release it. And sometimes all that is needed is to sit in quietness and just feel yourself. Just be in quietness, maybe for 1 hour, and just feel what is coming up. All the fears, all the discomfort, just feel it. That's how you're slowly acknowledging your traumas, your pain, your emotional baggage, and through feeling it and acknowledging it, you're slowly releasing that energy from your system. Also, certain practices like yoga and breathing practices or working out or running can help you a lot to release it. So pay attention to it. The 6th gift is seeing auras or energies. If you perceive subtle energies, auras, or colors around people and objects, you are having a gift of seeing the auras of others. It's the light of the energy field of a person. And sometimes it may happen when looking at a person, you may see a glowing or colored aura, indicating their emotional well-being or spiritual nature. Sometimes you may notice how much a person is spiritually evolved, how bright the aura is, how much closer to a golden white color it is. So if you're seeing auras, it's really easy for you to read people. People can't just pretend to be someone because you see. And it's also a great gift when it comes to healing, because through aura you can recognize where there's disturbance of energy, where maybe there's a lack of life force. So then you can navigate the life force into these areas and promote the healing. So a wonderful gift. What is suppressing this gift is information overload, excessive noises, and constant distractions can usually overwhelm the spiritual sense because of stimulation. If you're seeing auras, it means that you're very sensitive to light and therefore also very sensitive to sound. And therefore it's much more, let's say, appropriate for you to live a life in a quiet environment, in a pleasant environment, and to be as much as possible on a natural light and maybe avoid the artificial lights as much as possible. You will notice that your system will balance and you will get more in control of the senses. A powerful way to kind of gain more awareness around it. Then the 7th gift is out-of-body experiences. You may have or had experiences where you felt detached from your physical body, gaining a broader perspective or connection with higher realms of consciousness, maybe more etheric realms. Maybe you've met some spirit guides there, some ancestors or helpers, these light beings that you may meet there. If that's happening to you, make sure that it's controlled. Make sure that it's not happening completely out of control. That sometimes happen to people who are under a certain psychedelic drug. So I like to say to people, well, if you want to have this kind of experiences, work towards them through meditation, because through meditation you have this slow-paced process of awareness, of expansion of your awareness, and therefore you become much more familiar of how uniquely your energy body is feeling right now and how to raise its frequency. If you're speeding up this process, for some people it's completely okay, but for some people it's not. It's too extreme and it becomes chaotic sometimes. So what's suppressing this gift is often lack of boundaries. So absorbing others' energies without proper boundaries can lead to often what we might say spiritual exhaustion, where you just feel tired all the time, exhausted all the time. And you really need to learn to establish strong boundaries, like something I've mentioned before, because you're again quite sensitive to energies. If you can travel through dimensions, higher you go, more sensitive you need to be. But then that sensitivity requires integration. It requires stability. It requires pure body, purified mind. So you can completely integrate all these higher frequencies into your system. If the integration doesn't take place, you will feel kind of disoriented and very ungrounded. So again, a great practice to do is grounding yourself and reflecting on where you're lacking boundaries, where you're losing yourself because you're maybe pleasing someone or because you want to, do certain things that are not authentic. Pay attention to it and study whatever can help you to become psychologically stronger at times when you need to express your truth and boundaries. The 8th sign is animal communication. You easily connect with animals and intuitively understand their needs, emotions, or messages. If that's you, well, it's a beautiful sense. What's disturbing or suppressing this sense is excessive focus on material possessions and maybe superficial pursuits that can, take you away from who you truly are. So often it doesn't also feel natural to focus only on material world, because you feel much more connected with nature and everything that's happening in nature, which doesn't mean to avoid the material work and possessions and endeavors and inspirations and aspirations. It's more like keeping the balance, because everything you're learning from nature is very needed in a materialistic reality. Many people could learn a lot from your senses, from your perception. So if you could find a way to share your knowingness, to share your senses with the world, it would be very helpful. So in case this resonates with you, maybe think about it. The 9th sign or gift is that synchronicities and constant signs from the universe are your nature, like meaningful coincidences, some people may call them that way, or signs frequently appear in your life, guiding you along your spiritual journey. You may repeatedly encounter a specific symbol, word, or number that holds personal significance to you, providing guidance or validation. It means that your energy is quite pure, and therefore you're constantly manifesting signs, because that's most probably your unconscious intention for a need for guidance. But use these senses then more consciously. Recognize where the universe is communicating to me. What if I would use greater prompts, right? Like in, nowadays, like in journaling, for example, if you don't have the right questions, you will not know what to write about. So you need to develop a sense of direction in your life, like where you're going. And then you can use this communication with the universe, how to speak to the universe. So through your senses, through signs that are finding you, the right answers may come to you. Very important one, to know how to ask the right question. It's something, again, to reflect on yourself. If your life is not moving forward, like you're constantly seeing signs, but nothing is changing, you need to ask deeper questions. And only you can know what is your present challenge and what kind of situation is constantly repeating. It just means that mentally, you're running a same cycle over and over again. You need to go deeper. So go deeper, my friend. What is suppressing this gift is being disconnected from the natural world and maybe spending too much time on technology and on things that don't matter. You know what matters to you, and often you spend too much time on things that don't matter. So spend more time in nature, enjoy it, and find yourself, like being a part of it. It will remind you of who you are, of the essence of who you are. And sometimes when you're feeling disconnected, it will help you to remind yourself back again who you are, and then nurture that true self until you become all of yourself. It's a process, but through science and synchronicities, you're becoming it. Sometimes science and synchronicities are negative, that are not negative in terms of, something bad happened. They're negative because they are reminding you there's a trauma that needs to be resolved. There's a fear that needs to be acknowledged. There's an anger that requires awareness, that requires some love and expression. And you need to pay attention to it. Stop avoiding it. Avoidance is often being reflected in our outside world. So we would pay attention to what we are avoiding to and heal that old pattern. And the 10th gift is mediumship. You have the ability to connect with and receive messages from spirits, offering comfort or guidance to those seeking contact with the other side. Sometimes you might be doing that for others. Sometimes you need guidance for yourself, or maybe for the collective. And usually during a session in meditation, you may receive messages or certain type of impressions from maybe your loved ones, your ancestors, or your guides that are providing you information or reassurance. If that's happening to you, it means that you have a deep sense of, or for channeling. So channeling is not just, channeling certain entities. It's often channeling of information. And more you're evolving this sense, more you start to notice from where this information is coming to you. Maybe it's coming straight from the source. Doesn't matter. The point is not to entertain yourself or whatever. It's more like to be a channel, like an artist who's, channeling an artwork or a music or a book, only for the sake of bringing this higher information, higher frequency onto this realm so it can help others to wake up. And often I find myself creating artwork like that. I usually, or a vision just finds me, or when I'm painting, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, if I'm thinking about it intellectually. But it's just this deep sense to trust the process until the artwork unfolds in front of me. So it may be happening to many of you, and you were maybe not paying much attention to it, but it's actually something very mystical that is happening. So appreciate that. What is suppressing it is resistance to change, to growth, to expansion of yourself, of your personality. To keep detaching your old identity, or let's say peeling off the layers of old identity, and keep wondering who you really are so you can embody more of that. So it's a process of a certain type of a personal growth. It's actually an expansion of awareness of who you are, but also who you are not, so you can detach from who you are not and embody more of who you truly are. And therefore, every single day, you can become more of yourself, and it will be reflected in all the aspects of your life. So sometimes, when we feel kind of maybe stuck, or we feel that we're repeating an old story, an old pattern, like we're avoiding this certain unpleasant situation and we don't know really what that unpleasant thing is that we're avoiding, it's just a reminder for us that we need to recognize what is the deepest fear that we're trying not to experience it. What are we afraid of losing? And then we need to recognize that that thing we're afraid of is just a story. It's just a story you've developed in your life because in the past it was introduced to you, like if you will not behave like I said, then you will be punished, or whatever it was for you. And because of that, you've developed certain mechanisms. Like if you will not work hard on this, then you will be a failure. While the truth is that when you let go of one pattern, you will feel a little bit lighter. And as you feel a little bit lighter, you will recognize maybe sometimes it's not so much about hard work, but rather the frequency behind of your work, the intention behind of your work that truly creates the greatest possible results. So it's all about pattern recognition. It's all about awareness. And through channeling, through using your gifts, you can just speed up the process of healing. So appreciate yourself. Honor yourself. Through that, you're honoring your ancestors, everyone who walked before you, so you can be here today. And therefore, also, your presence here can be really meaningful for all of us who are sharing this experience of life. So thank you so much for being my friend. Thank you for being brave enough to not giving up on yourself. You're seen, you're heard, and you're loved, my friend. I hope you found great value in today's video. I hope you've enjoyed in today's artwork. To anyone who would love to support my art, you can find it in our Etsy store. I Draw My Passion. The link is in the description of this video, so go and check it out. Also, to anyone who would love to have some daily reminders, on our Instagram page, AttractPassion, I'm posting daily messages, quick messages to uplift your spirit or to put some light on a certain aspect that is important at a certain period of time. So check it out on my other Instagram page, I Draw My Passion, where you can find my art gallery. I'm a visionary artist, and when an idea finds me, I paint it. So usually I call them stories on canvas. So check it out. If any of it resonates with you, it's a sign that it has something to say to you. So thank you so much for your support with that. You're supporting this mission, and I truly appreciate that. Till next time, one love.